It hardly seems possible, but this year we celebrate the 75th year of bringing electric service to our local community. Just as the last 75 years brought a way of life to rural America never before thought possible, the next 75 years promises to usher in a whole new age of technology and innovation that will change our industry. Harrison REMC has been dedicated to our community and the people we serve. We are proud of our old-fashioned values, and whether it's engineering, metering, office services, or member relations, we remain steadfast to the principles upon which we were originally founded.
With the flip of a switch, we have lights and power, a necessity in our everyday lives, and for most of us, something we can never remember being without. But a look back at the not-too-distant past reveals a time when the world of electric power had a very different landscape. Early in the last century, rural residents began to take action against a basic injustice they were forced to bear. For all practical purposes, the rural areas of our country were powerless, with the modernizations of a newly industrialized nation confined to the cities. The American farm family earned their living in a way that had changed very little since the earliest days of the founding of our nation. Those that remember the hours of back-breaking labor of everyday rural life can provide a unique and telling story about the remarkable events that brought the luxury of electricity out of the cities and into rural America. When we take a look back at the last 75 years, we see how the perseverance and dedication of lawmakers and rural families working together paid off. The signing of the presidential executive order that laid the groundwork for the formation of the Rural Electrification Act was a major milestone in our country's history. Over the next decade, electric cooperatives would spring up, covering most of the rural countryside. Today, over 900 electric cooperatives supply power to roughly 75% of our nation's landmass. And just as the electric utility industry stood on the edge of great change early in the last century, we again find ourselves on the verge of one of the greatest transformations in our industry since the lights came on those many years ago. Technology is rapidly advancing, while at the same time our nation as a whole is turning to energy conservation as an answer to a constrained power supply. As a result, our industry is poised to usher in the next generation of power generation and power delivery, much of it technologically based. We can see these changes happening in many of the ways we do business. Our bill processing is one area that has been considerably streamlined in recent years. For approximately 60 years, we were a cash-only business. Not only were all bill payments and all meter readings individually hand-keyed, but the process of printing, sorting, and mailing each individual bill was done in-house by hand. In the early years of the REMC, members personally recorded their meter reading each month and mailed it to the office. Now we have automated meters that download radio-transmitted data directly into computers that process the meter readings and generate the monthly electric bills. We also have an in-house network and technology center that has modernized our processes for accounting, payroll, and human resources, consolidated our inventory and purchasing procedures, as well as assists in power outage restoration. This integrated technology allows all of our computers to talk to each other, streamlining our office services, workflow, power grid monitoring, and outage management capabilities. We used to have to run the lines when there was a power outage, driving the countryside looking for the source of the problem. Now, with our 21st century electronics, we will be able to monitor and isolate outages from the office. In some instances, crews can be dispatched to the predicted problem source, expediting repairs and reducing outage times for our members. Our old trucks were a mode of transportation and little more. Our line trucks now are modern pieces of equipment with computers that house maps of our distribution system and soon will provide global positioning locations of all of our equipment and transmit critical information to and from the headquarters office. As technology continues to advance and smart grid devices become mainstream, members will also be able to monitor and control their individual power use from virtually any location. Now that we can better monitor power supply, we can better predict the cost associated with purchasing power. Because of this, we instituted a new time of use rate in late 2012. Time of use rates are not for all members, but those wanting to move energy into off-peak periods can realize a savings. Harrison REMC was incorporated on September 19, 1938, and the first pole was set on July 1st, 1939. The first annual meeting was held on September 30th, 1939. It marked the energizing of the first 50-mile section of the line for the co-op. Now, 75 years later, over 22,000 residential and business customers enjoy the quality of life that only electricity can bring.
Harrison REMC was founded upon a grassroots effort that relied on the cooperation of lawmakers, friends, neighbors, and the people of our great community. And as we usher in the next generation of the product we call electricity, it will again be up to the lawmakers and the people of our community to make sure we have an abundant and affordable supply of electricity for the coming generation. You can be assured that the directors and employees of your local electric cooperative will work tirelessly to ensure this happens, while staying true to cooperative principles.